I find that those of you who work in the behavioral health space almost always have an interesting story of how you got into the field. So would you mind sharing yours?
I do not mind at all. So, at the age of 15, I attempted suicide. And we lived in an impoverished area. I grew up in a very poor area in Alabama, the Black Belt region. And my mom had to drive 30 minutes to get me care the night of my suicide attempt. So we would live in an area. We live in an area where the resources were just not accessible and readily available. Once I was diagnosed with depression shortly after that attempt, my mom thought it would be best if I did not take my antidepressants or see my counselor, because she just couldn't afford to take off work to take me to see my counselor. So for the next 10 years after my suicide attempt, I just lived with depression, the dark assassin is what I like to call it, untreated. And that really took a toll on my life. It impacted my self-esteem. It ruined my relationships, not only with family, but with friends. It just really had me in a dark place for 10 years. And I started to cope in negative ways. One of the ways that I coped with all of these feelings and things that I was experiencing was with alcohol. I ended up getting alcohol poisoning, I guess my first year after I started college. And so moving on to when I moved to Birmingham, I went to a yoga class for my very first time. And I just remember feeling that relief of yoga. I just felt like so free. And so I was like, I know what I want to do. I want to do yoga with adolescents in a public housing community. And so that's what I did, because I knew those adolescents were 15-year-old Sherilyns who did not have readily available access to mental health resources. They didn't even know what depression was. I didn't know what depression was. I just knew I was experiencing these different things, didn't have any treatment, didn't have any outlet, and just really cope the best way I can. So using my personal pain and trying to turn that into hope for others is why I'm in this space.